Hello, everyone. If you can hear me, just let me know in chat and I'll do this quick little sound check and then get on with it. Pretty much what we'll be doing is recapping the case. Obviously, it started on June 15th when she went missing. Pink shirt, gray pants, barefoot, 40 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. Um, Still missing, still no suspects named. Apparently, we do have word from the sheriff today to Brian Entin that, everybody is still a person of interest. Can you guys hear me? I'm just going to look for one person in chat to say so. Hi, Pandora. Hi, Mark. Hey, Karen. Florida. Hey, guys. So, yeah, I've just got the news clips, guys. I've edited it so that it's just straight to the point in every single news segment. Yeah, so we'll just stick to the facts, what we know from TBI and from the sheriff, and we'll just get on to it. So, one second, guys. And then after I play this little list, this playlist, I figured we could go to Brian's Entin's Twitter and grab the update there. And then there's another update as well that Brian Entin did with a local news station. All right. And actually, before I start playing the clips, I did realize I started this whole. Hi, Steve. How are you? Good to see you. And Steve, I'm working on some Chris Watts content. Please stay tuned. I know you've been asking for me to work on some, and I've got some in the mix. So, as we know, this is the infamous picture/video that Candace gave to Unmasked True Crime with T, Teresa, uh, when they were working out their little conversation and interviews. Candace sent them this video and said that this was taken the day that they went to the swimming hole, the day she went missing, June 15th. Now, when Kelly from CDT first showed me this picture and introduced me to the case, and if you guys haven't subscribed to CDT, please subscribe to her as well. She's great with true crime and updates. But she had asked me, and again, I was in the middle of doing my Kurt Cobain videos, so I was just talking to her about this case. I wasn't covering it. And she said that there was speculation that Summer in this video or picture is passed away already. And that was the very first speculations that were going around. I do not feel that she is deceased in this picture. I believe that she's alive in this picture. Hi, Insanely Confused. What do you guys think in chat? Do you think that Summer made it home from the swimming hole? Because allegedly this picture was taken on the way home. I'm just going to look at chat, see your guys' opinion. Well, thank you for listening, Insanely. I really appreciate it. Florida, you say no. No what? I forgot what I asked. Oh, you think that Karen thinks she made it home from the swimming hole too? Okay. Yeah, I do too. She might have been sleeping here. There was a lot of people who thought that she was passed, but I believe that this is her and she's alive in this picture. So this is kind of where it all starts. This was the last thing that the last picture that they pretty much had of her. See, I knew, Florida, that you didn't think that. So Florida says, I don't think she made it home. Hey, CDT. CDT says she made it home. Oh, Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Go away, Siri. So yeah, there are some people who are like Florida bass fishing who think that this, picture is not of a sleeping child. Um, After she gets home, we all know that things kind of get a little hazy anyways. Yeah. Midnight said it's hot there. She has long sleeves and pants on, milk jugs. Nancy says, I believe Summer is drugged in that picture. It's questionable. Those things, we could definitely still be in play because, of course, we don't have the body, sadly. We haven't found her. There's no toxicology to be had. I mean, this is just a complete mystery, literally. It's just we have very, very little. Oh, you guys see all my relaxing music for the baby.
She still got her arm up? No. Oh, that's what I was trying to catch. She still got her arm up? No. Oh, that's what I was trying to catch.
So Florida Bass brings up a good point, which is it's open for argument. He said there's no proof that she made it home. And it's true. Like, we don't have anything besides just the mother's account of what happened. And the minor that was with them at the swimming hole, everyone refers to him as H. He tells a totally different story, which we're going to go back through his interview and go through that. We started it in a live. If you guys want to watch that, it's in a previous Summer Wells live on my playlist, but we never finished it. We'll have to go back through that. But here's the other thing in this timeline when this case just started, June 15th, right? I know it's probably a little bit blurry on your screen, but this was posted on, hi, Nikki. This was posted on Candace Bly's Wells, whatever, her Facebook. And as you can see, it's just after 6 p.m. Now we have an account from the sheriff and TBI that they called 911 at 6:30. So, why is this picture being posted around 6 p.m.? I think since was deleted, if I'm not mistaken, and this has been taken down off of Facebook public view, but of course, people with the screenshots. So that is just something else that we kind of have to play in. And of course, Florida, I'll ask you, it shows Summer here on the right. Was this picture taken that day? Did she make it home? Because as you see, they're in like the kitchen area. Is this photo, legit at that time and all that? We don't have the digital forensics. They probably know more about the status of this exact photo than we do. Yeah, Florida said staged it like she was home, old picture. And that very well could be, that could be exactly what her plan was, but then she deletes it. So it's very interesting. Yeah, Midnight said brothers' clothes are different than picture talking to search team that day. I'd have to look at those pictures again, but I believe you. It's very interesting. Moving on. And I'm going to pause it when I can if I have something to say, but I figure let's just let this run and get caught up with everything. And then it'll go right into Brian Entin's conversation with Don.
Keeping up 110, 110, Hill Road off of Beach Creek should be the first residence on your right. Reference to a missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk, came home, now they can't find her. They've been yelling for her.
All right, so I know that it has the words on the screen. I have to ask chat. Hi, Amanda. I have to ask chat. Do you believe this dispatch? Because ever since this was released, and again, this is June 15th, this was released to the public, I want to say a week later. Like this wasn't something that is new, okay? And dispatch, this isn't the 911 call. This is, after the 911 call takes place. She is telling Sheriff Lawson and, anyone on the radio that the mother went for a walk and she came home and she can't find her daughter. Now, people have speculated and tried to tell me that this was a miscommunication by the woman on dispatch, that she wasn't out for a walk and they got it wrong. She was probably walking to the grandmother's trailer and they just assumed that she went for a walk. Now, in my opinion, I believe dispatch. I think that dispatch says exactly what they're told, and their job is specifically to communicate exactly what they need to. So in my opinion, for there to be human error, if I'm wrong, of course, once we hear the 911 call, I'll know if I'm wrong. But I believe dispatch was told this information. Yeah, Florida, the story changed. I think this was the first story that they were going with, just like maybe that picture on Facebook, Florida, was the first idea she had. Like, oh, I'll post this picture and it'll look like she was home. And then things start changing and she's got to delete things and, their stories have changed. CDT said, I noticed something about this. She says she's been gone for about 10 minutes now, but Dawn said on Dr. Phil, Candace called him at 5:30 freaking out. 911 call is at 6:30. Yeah, I've noticed. Thank you for pointing that out, because I know that I'm not delusional when I say I feel as though Dawn has said more than once that he got the call from Candace at 5:30. So 5:30 definitely has been in play for a while. Which is bizarre. Press 1 in chat if you believe that this story that dispatch is saying is exactly the story that they were told at first, and that the parents have changed their stories since. And press 2 if you think that dispatch has gotten this completely wrong and it's their human error and they've caused all this confusion. And while I wait for those responses to see in chat, Karen said dispatch is usually typing it all down during the call. Exactly. They have one job: communicate. Florida agrees with me. The timeline after H was dropped off is all debatable, CDT said. Yeah. I see a lot of people who are trusting dispatch. Of course, human error takes place, but I'm not buying it here. I think this is the initial story.
For about 10 minutes now.
Now, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson said tonight crews are searching for 4-year-old Summer Wells. Here's a photo of Summer released from authorities tonight. She's described as being 4 foot tall with blonde hair. We've learned she was last seen around 7 o'clock tonight. Again, you're looking at a couple of images of Summer that were shared.
Now, you guys all caught that. He said she was last seen around 7 o'clock tonight. This is one of the very first news reports of this. This is actually, he stumbles on her name, Summer, because this is the first time that newscaster and reporter has, even said this name out loud. Now we all know her name, and now everybody at that news station is very familiar with everything going on. But, first reported around 7. I got a question, where is that coming from? Especially if we're going to say the 911 call was at 6:30 and they said that she was out for a walk and it'd been like 10 minutes. And the last time that she'd seen her would have been around 6 something? Before 6:30? That's the thing, is timelines matter. Hi, Delana. Timelines are very important and everyone knows this because we're all true crime junkies. Timelines are how we base, the truth, pretty much. It's where we can go to kind of start the story. And we know for a fact we have a very iffy timeline from the time Hunter is dropped off, like CDT said. Everything is very wishy-washy. We have heard from the grandmother in it was a statement that was like written in a newspaper, and it was, I hope they find my grandbaby or something like that. You know, we haven't even heard from the grandmother. Why is she hiding? You know, at this point, it's just, yeah, at midnight. We don't know what time Don called. You know, we got to see all these little details. And that's the thing, is cops, the law enforcement know more than us, and they're still stumped. So
by local authorities who tonight are involved in that search.
Yeah, again, the search is underway. This is in the Beach Creek community in the area of Ben Hill Road and Beach Creek Road. This is in Hawkins County. Tonight, crews are searching on the ground. Helicopters are scanning overhead. We are told that police have blocked off roadways in that area in order for them to do a comprehensive search.
That's right. Earlier tonight, around 7 o'clock, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson says this 4-year-old little girl named Summer Wells, and maybe we can show you the photo of her again here in just a moment, that she was last seen walking away from her home on Ben Hill Road. And that was the last she was seen. And now we know that a massive search is underway, not only a search on the ground with authorities from Hawkins County, rescue squad and personnel, local volunteer fire departments, but also THP, we hear, is in the air tonight looking for the little girl in that area. Big search underway.
Yeah, she really needs to be found, obviously. She was last seen wearing a pink shirt and gray shorts, and we were told that she was seen walking from her home on that road.
So, I mean, besides the fact that she said gray shorts and not gray pants, I mean, that's a minor. But she just said, we were told she was last seen walking away. You know, like this is the night that this happened. Okay. So the news station is hearing of this story, you know, possibly talk to law enforcement at this point, I'm assuming. And they're giving out the information that they're told. And this is the information that they've been told. She was walking away around 7 p.m. and she was wearing gray shorts. But that I don't really hold too much, because that could be something that the reporter got wrong. But, I mean, all those other details, what the heck? What is going on? And yes, thank you, CDT. KF asked earlier if we know where the boys were, because in some interview, somebody said that Don, did H say that the boys were with Don? Somebody said that the boys were with Don at work. And then Candace said the boys were watching and playing video games and sleeping. It's been like all three things from Candace. They were sleeping, and then they were playing video games and watching TV. So, or YouTube, whatever. But yeah, as far as we know, there's been like 2 stories almost of where the boys were. So CDT answered KF as well, and she said, we really don't know about the brothers for a fact yet. Don and Candace say that the boys were home, but that's all we know for sure. And you know, it's interesting that they took their TV, I heard Don say in an interview. I want to say maybe on Voices Behind the Wall. He did an interview with somebody and said that they took electronics and had given them back. But, you know, if it's a smart TV, which I'm assuming it is, it has a camera on it. So I really wonder what they gathered from the smart TV. And if she did go to the basement, we know that that smart TV that the boys were allegedly on is upstairs. So what could it have grabbed anyways, when you think about it? Nothing really. If she did go out the back door, or if she was taken from the basement, which I don't think so anymore, especially going over these old interviews and stuff like that. I think she really was outside the home. I'm not really buying the whole, she went to the basement and then she was just gone. And I hate to say it, guys, but as much as we know Don's past and it's very colorful, Candace, I think, has been lying to us since day one. And I think that this whole Don excuse me, his history, and it's all suspect, and it's all terrible, and it's like, wow, it's like a train wreck you can't look away from. I think that it's distracted me myself personally from really examining Candace's first statements, and you know if you look at it as Don doesn't know what's going on, really, like, just humor me a little bit. And as we go through these clips, if you really just think of it as Candace being guilty, it starts to almost come together. Like, I'm just seeing this case totally differently now. And as far as since Dr. Phil and the Cornbread Mafia and all that, I really am on board with CDT's theory of knowing somebody that she was possibly sold to, or just her being sold in general, is what we've been theorizing behind the scenes. And it's been an idea, and I've always talked about an accident and stuff. I really don't think an accident took place anymore, which is good about re-looking at stuff, because it's okay to change your mind.
Bianca Murray tonight is in Hawkins County with the latest on the search.
Tonight, emergency crews from around Hawkins County have converged on this rural community near Church Hill. They're looking for 4-year-old Summer Wells. Sheriff Ronnie Lawson said she was last seen walking from her home on Ben Hill Road off Beach Creek Road, not far from here, around 7 tonight. She was last seen wearing a pink.
So I just seen Sword of the Spirit said Don drove the Subaru that day for a reason. And I agree. And that's obvious. It's an obvious statement in a way, because why would somebody who does drywall, etc., messy, this and that, bring a nice car? It doesn't make sense. And he even says his boss was making fun of that. So it's obviously a red flag. Now I'm starting to think, if they had any prior suspicion that something might take place, maybe they didn't want it to take place. Don was saying, I'm going to drive the fast car today, and I'm going to get home if I need to get home quick. Because he always talks about how fast that Subaru is, and how fast he goes in it. And even when he took that video of the route he took on the way home, remember, he was going so fast. Was that in the Subaru? I don't know what he was driving, but that day I was like getting anxiety watching him, and I was like, oh my God. But I'm almost wondering if he purposely picked the faster of the two cars.
Shirt and gray shorts. Earlier tonight, I saw a deputy searching vehicles off Beach Creek Road. Hawkins County deputies and first responders are searching on the ground. THP and medical helicopters are in the air. We're told a command post has been established, and we're at a Baptist church on Beach Creek Road, where we're told information will be released as soon as it's available. Reporting for News Channel 11, I'm Bianca Murray.
Bianca, thanks, and we will have more on the search for Summer Wells all throughout our newscast tonight and online.
That's for sure. Again, Summer Wells, 4 years.
CDT said, or maybe another reason additional, could he took it so people would think Candace and Summer were gone? Yes. Good point. Good point. Did you just come up with that right now, CDT? And by the way, you can call in if you want. I know that it's Bo's birthday, but or I can just keep bringing up your comments and pretending you're here with me. But yeah, that is, and that's why she's the best. No, that's really good. And so yeah, if we look at this from an angle of somebody was out for them, but the parents knew, but they didn't want it to happen, but they kind of had no choice. They wanted to make, because that plays into CDT. Why did she only bring Summer? She left the boys, but then she picked up H. It was kind of weird that she woke up Summer to go with them. So yeah, Thank you for saying that. That's brilliant.
Old. Her photo is posted on WJHL.
They come in. She says, "Where's Summer?" She went down in the basement. But she didn't answer, so she went down there and she was gone. So she went out the basement door, which was unlocked, and we haven't seen her since.
This morning, Donald Wells spoke on camera for the first time since his daughter disappeared.
Yes, Alicia. Yes. She said, or they wanted someone to see Don's truck and think he was home. Yes. And that didn't work, obviously. But yeah, that's amazing. And that's the thing is like things start to piece together. Like obviously this is all theoretical and we're just bouncing ideas off each other. But sometimes that's kind of how your gut leads you. Like that's what I did with the Watts case. I think we went round and around for months. Florida bass fishing, myself, Kelly, a bunch of people, you know, and we just ironed out what we think happened. Now I have like an idea of what I really think happened. That's sort of what I'm getting with this feeling. I'm starting to feel like, you know, whether there was a cash transaction that was taken by the Wells, you know, they took the cash. And of course, this is just speculating and this is just my opinion and I'm just throwing stuff out there. They want the cash, but they don't want to give up Summer, you know, and then somebody obviously comes for what they gave the cash for.
Please, that Summer will be okay. And please come home.
He says it's unlikely Summer would leave the house on her own. Wells says the last time anyone in the family saw Summer was when she entered the house to play in the basement after gardening with her mother and grandmother. Wells also spoke about his gut feeling about Summer's whereabouts.
Some bad person grabbed her, but we have no idea.
Wells says law enforcement have covered leads on area sex offenders and...
See, he said some bad person grabbed her and we have no idea. It's interesting because it's like these little things don't really stand out, but now I'm thinking that they did have an idea, you know? So watching this interview, I'm like, and this was 3 days later and he's like, some bad person and we had no idea. Like, first off, nobody asked you if you had any idea. Hold on, I need to rewind that just to make sure I'm hearing Donnie correctly.
I have no idea.
Wells says law enforcement after gardening with her mother and grandmother. Wells also spoke about his gut feeling about Summer's whereabouts.
Some bad person grabbed her, but we have no idea.
Wells says law enforcement have covered leads on area sex offenders and drug addicts.
We're trying to think, beat our brains out. We've covered everything that we can think of already.
Investigators say they have followed up on 85 tips so far. Wells says he is overwhelmed by the massive numbers of personnel on site.
We just really appreciate everybody trying to help that they have, law enforcement and all these volunteers that are here.
Delana asks, do you ever throw out the idea that she never made it home? I do. I have from the beginning. But that would be a lot of people to lie. I don't know. I mean, anything's on the table. But yes, Delana, I have thrown that idea. I'll keep that in the mix too, like up in my head, because I haven't thought that in a while. And of course, guys, I want to get these done before Brian's special tonight. I think we can do it.
Never seen anything like this in my entire life.
Donald Wells let us come to the home off Ben Hill Road earlier today, but did not wish to speak on camera. He showed us the door he says Summer left from, the flowers he says she planted with her mother and grandmother, and the swing she would often play on. Meanwhile, in the area surrounding the Wells home, crews are dealing with the threat of severe weather.
I was at work and I got a frantic call from my wife, and I said, hang up and call 911. And I called 911. And I come from work and drove home as fast.
Also, another thing that, I noticed from the body language experts on Dr. Phil is they said that there's no lies, no deceptive body language. There's nothing to really say. They're lying, but there's high stress body language. And I've noticed that when things get a little hairy in his answers, Don will blink a lot. I don't know. He does like weird things with his eyes, but when he's being straight, and you kind of see like the truth in him, this sort of kind of how we examine Chris Watts. There's things that he does when they're kind of under stress, or like we used to say, lying, but now it's like stressful things going on, and it's manifesting. So I believe, Don was at work. Candace called freaking out. He said, call 911. I believe that. And in all the interviews and everything Don says, I feel like, okay, yeah, I've established in my gut that he really was at work, even though they've never proved to us that he was. I believe it.
As much as I possibly could, and drove to the bottom of our property, and I seen my boys here walking around and my neighbors all looking and searching, and I knew right then that she was gone. But she don't never leave the property by herself anyway.
We're learning more tonight about the search. News Channel 5's Levi Ismail is following the case, and Levi, I understand it's taking a toll.
All of the three people who spoke today said the same thing about just how frustrating it's been trying to navigate through that tough terrain. Now, it's why they say your help can make the difference. Of course, what they don't want, however, is for anyone to get lost trying to search through this terrain on their own. Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson said he wants people, especially those in the Beach Creek community, to search their properties. That includes barns, crawl spaces, and anywhere a young child may hide. Earlier, we saw the line crew canvassing certain neighborhoods, and they say in some cases it's the 5th or 6th time they've gone over the same place. With the help of more than 106 agencies between 6.
This news segment's kind of boring. It's just talking about the search. But yeah, CDT said it makes me wonder if he realized she wasn't at the shed. Hold on, let me pause the sheriff though. We want to hear him. I'm sure he's saying, hold on. But yeah, it makes me wonder if he realized she wasn't at the shed and that's how he knew she was gone. Yeah. I feel either she wasn't there or if they had money hidden there or something like you said, something. Yep. And that's the thing. Why, just like we wonder why Chris Watts went to the Lexus in the garage first thing when the cops were there. Why did Don go and stop at the shed first thing? And he's kind of tried to backpedal from that, but it's too late. He's said it more than once. He's tried to say or skip over the fact he doesn't say it at all. He skips over the fact he stopped at the shed. So yeah, I definitely think, Kelly, that the shed in stopping there first indicated something big.
Operations.
We're talking about 4.6 square miles and more than 3,000 acres.
I know some of the residents are probably getting frustrated with seeing the officers, but as the captain will tell you, we've had very intense operations all week long for 9 days now. And we're not done yet because, like I told you from day one, it's about finding Summer. That's the number one goal here.
If you can't make it to some of the tougher to reach spots of your property, please contact the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office for help. Sheriff Lawson.
Yeah. KF said they could be involved and also scared and threatened. And that's almost what I'm thinking as well. And feel like that's a reason why the grandma left also. And why maybe Candace doesn't want to go out and do interviews. Hi, Amanda. She said, I'll be listening, but I'm here. Yay. I'm just glad you're here.
And says that they can send a deputy your way to try and search the places for you. Well, if you need more contact information, we'll have that on our website at newschannel5.com. If you know anything about Summer's whereabouts, please contact TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Reporting, Levi Ismail, News Channel 5.
I believe she's in the woods near their home.
I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off this yard.
Okay, so let's remember June 29th is, I think, the first time we hear from Candace. Okay. And she went missing June 15th, as everyone knows. Now, listen to what Candace says and think about it from an aspect like we're kind of been talking about. Of them having prior knowledge, especially Candace.
By her swing. I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her and has lured her away from here.
And that's the other thing, that she contradicts herself right there, because she started it off by saying she would never leave the property, not by herself. She stays at her swing or whatever. And then she starts to like go into somebody came up here and took her. And then she says, or lured her away. And it's like, but you just said that she wouldn't leave by herself. So why would she leave by herself to be lured away? So already it's contradictive, and it doesn't really make much sense. Like, which is it? She wouldn't leave your property by herself, or she's the type that would get lured away. And she said on Dr. Phil that Summer's not the type to kind of go chasing butterflies or whatever. So it just doesn't make sense right off the bat, her statement right there, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel.
The parents of missing 5-year-old Summer Wells saying they never thought she was in the woods near their home, but that they believe she was abducted. Search crews combing through nearly 5 square miles around the Wells home.
I have to do one step at a time, I guess, but I'm sorry that they had to spend so many man hours in these woods and everything. I've seen them limping and everything else, and I feel for them.
Summer not the first girl to go missing in her family.
When my sister went missing, I was in between Arkansas and Tennessee. I don't know all of what happened or what did happen, but I hope that they find her too.
When you see cases like that, that's why I lose hope on Summer. I want to keep hope, but sometimes I lose hope.
Lose it.
Fear beginning to spread through.
So as he was saying, I don't know if you guys heard that, she reiterates, you lose it. Like and of course, who knows what, I'm not obviously an expert in the language aspects of what this could mean, what that could mean. But it's just interesting how she really wanted to drill in the idea right there on the media. You lose hope, you've lost it. And this is June 29th. And of course, like, I feel like everyone was kind of stunned that they were already talking that way, but so yeah, Karen, I agree. And this is just, I don't know, like, I always said, how could they hide cash? How could they hide the cash? Well, what if it was hidden somewhere? Or, they built their property themselves.
Through the Wells home as Summer remains missing.
And then it really bothers me to find out that we've had sex offenders living within 8 minutes of my house.
Keep a close watch on your kids.
Yes.
Don't let them out of your sight.
And that always kind of stuck with me too. They're talking about, obviously they're trying to drill in the abduction theory, but keep a watch on your kids. And it's like, that could just mean so many things. Thank you, Voices Behind the Wall, True Crime Outcast, for joining my squad, I guess we'll call it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad you're here, because one thing that I just remember you saying and even posting about on your community share is give Candace money and she'll talk. And that, I've heard you say it, and I've seen it in writing, and it just keeps replaying over in my head. And you've gotten closer to them than so many of us, so that to me is just really stuck out. Wow. I can't even, I'm speechless with that, Cher. Buried in coolers, maybe in Utah, maybe. Yeah, see, Utah has sort of been sticking out in my head too for a while, only because it's a comfortable area for them and Don. Yes. Yeah, that's true, Cher. You've been saying it for a while, and I was, I take everything in, but everything is starting to kind of piece together between things that you've uncovered and just working things out with everyone in chat, and it's just crazy.
Summer's parents saying they wish they could search every structure in America if it could help lead to finding her.
Now that we know she's not in the woods anywhere, I wish we could focus on finding her. I don't know what, or I don't know.
That was Bianca Murray reporting. The family told Bianca today they still do not know where Summer is. They are aching for answers.
What she said happened the day the 5-year-old went missing. Take a look.
And I don't know if CDT is still in chat, or if she'll remember this, but when it first happened, I told her that I thought Don seemed really upset and I don't know. I just thought he was distraught. I thought he was genuine in these early interviews. But we've known that they have very many sides to them. So it's really hard, but say he wasn't the main mastermind behind it all and it was Candace or whatever, is that why he does give off so much? He's just distraught and lost hope because he knows more.
Listen.
Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma. And she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said, okay. And I walked her all the way over to the porch. And I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV. And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer. I'll be back. And within 2 minutes, I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was. And they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times. And I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight.
Within a couple of days, we have a tip or a lead or have an idea if they've been abducted, if they may be left into the woods. Somebody saw something that leads us hopefully to get an answer to where the child went or if they were taken. We're going to have some tip or lead. And that is the frustrating part for law enforcement in this case and for the public. We will continue to investigate and search for Summer. In the public's eye, there may not be as much media attention given to this case, but that does not mean that we stop what we're doing. We will continue to use every resource we have that we can utilize to try to find Summer.
What time was she last seen, and who reported her missing in the family?
Her parents reported her missing around 6:30 p.m.
But when was she, did they say when she was last seen? I know that she was reported missing around that time, but was she last seen earlier in the afternoon or in the day even?
That time is varied because they were searching for their child themselves.
I have a question for Captain Two. Just wanted to see, are you asking for assistance from other agencies? I know yesterday you all mentioned 19 agencies helping out with the quick turnover in personnel. It sounds like that are searching. Are you all looking for other agencies in surrounding counties to help? And what is the hours that you all are searching?
Yeah, so hours of operation this time are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We have, like Leslie stated yesterday, we have utilized at this time 19 different agencies throughout the state of Tennessee. We also have multiple agencies outside of our jurisdiction in burning states, and also expanding to Middle Tennessee to having these teams on standby.
You talked about getting tips. Can you give me an idea of the magnitude of tips that you've gotten so far? And with the amount of time that's passed, is there concern, that it's less likely to find the longer it goes?
Of course, the longer this goes, the more concern we get. At this stage, we've received nearly 50 leads. None have panned out so far.
50?
Yes, approximately 50 at this point.
Who does Summer live with, and is there any history with this family with law enforcement or anything that you're aware of?
Summer lived with her parents and 3 siblings.
Are these her biological parents, mother and father?
Is there any history of your office? Is there any history of your office going to their home or anyone in the home? Is there any criminal history with any family members?
The father has a criminal history.
Can you elaborate on that?
I don't have it with me.
Is any of the family persons of interest?
Everybody's a person of interest till we find something. The most important thing is find something. That's what it's all about. That's why we're doing ground searches, aerial searches. Finding her is first and foremost.
Are you concerned that this could be an abduction at this point after so much time has passed?
Everything's on the table. I mean, we're looking at everything, crossing every T, dotting every I, turning every stone. That's why we have 2 different operations. Captain's operations, search and rescue. Law enforcement operation is look into this incident, find something.
Is the father's criminal record relevant in this investigation?
No.
No.
I've also heard there's been speculation of the siblings in the household. Just wasn't sure if you're able to elaborate on the siblings at all.
They have 3 others besides Summer.
Older, younger, brothers, sisters.
Oh.
One more question, guys. Anybody have another question? Okay.
I had a question. We've heard about issues with communications between search teams regarding lack of cell coverage as well as the radios. Could you elaborate on that? What those issues have been and how they've impacted the search?
Well,
okay, so this guy,
of 80 to
he's
100
just going to
people
talk
of
about
trained professionals.
the search and nothing we really have.
She's wearing
interest.
Including very dense ground cover.
He's talking about terrain.
Today we will cover.
We just want to hear.
As she
We
stated,
just want to
residents in this area.
hear TBI and Sheriff. I feel
Ever get to
and news stuff.
it's not working.
Sorry, buddy.
This time we are not
Summer's disappearance.
expand this issue with having to search for somebody else. Thank you.
As we've stated before, the circumstances surrounding Summer's disappearance remain unclear. So if we do develop information that she was taken, if we develop a suspect and vehicle description, of course we will share that.
Today, I heard from Robin Lane how much Summer meant to her and her experience from the night Summer disappeared.
Whenever I was helping teach Sabbath school, she was in my lap. And sometimes it was hard to teach because she wanted to be in my lap, holding me and hugging me. I just discovered that it was actually easier for me just to hold her and let her love on me and hug me and teach with her on me than it was to make her sit in a chair.
Robin Lane tells me she had a close bond with Summer.
She was a helper.
So I have this interview in my documentary that it's like a little short documentary of the case in Summer that I put up if you guys want to see Robin's interview. But I was just reading chat and I'd rather pull this up and kind of discuss it. But Alicia said, I'm sorry, but buying a child is not some common occurrence when drugs and money are owed. I agree. And that's the thing. It's like, what would drug dealers or people like that have anything to do with? What would they want a child for? And even I think Chris McDonough said, like, yeah, that doesn't really, why would the drug people want your child, you know? But now I'm just thinking, since that doesn't really make sense, then could it be something more like they had set up where they wanted straight cash for her, but didn't really want to like follow through, but also wanted the cash. You know what I mean? I think it was something like they got in over their head or something, and I don't know. But yeah, I do agree. I don't think that drug dealers, if they owed for drugs, and it seems like they have no problem keeping up with their habits anyways. So, my feelings on Robin is she was like a mother figure to Summer that Summer wanted at home and didn't have. As far as suspicions and stuff, I don't get that vibe from her. But again, I didn't feel certain ways that I feel now, months ago.
Road. Lane says she offered assistance the only way she could.
We showed them some pictures of Summer. The police didn't have very good pictures of her, or some of them hadn't even seen a picture of her yet.
Later that night, she was granted access to the Wells home.
At that point, there's really nothing I could do. They just needed someone to pray with them. You feel really helpless in that situation because you want to do something. It makes you feel better to do something. But we couldn't, so we just prayed and we just hugged on them and loved on the boys. And they, of course, were just shattered and just confused, as was I.
Lane says police wouldn't allow them to assist in the search.
And then we had to go home, and it was really hard driving home with her not being found. Helicopters everywhere, search dogs everywhere, police everywhere, and there's nothing that you can do to help.
Case with Summer Wells, the 5-year-old out of Northeast Tennessee, missing for more than a month.
It's true the search effort has been scaled back after crews have found no trace of the child. But tonight, News Channel 5's Nick Barris with an exclusive look at how authorities investigate these cases from behind the scenes, especially when foul play may be involved.
Children never found. You need to go no further than the high-profile Joe Clyde Daniels case. His father was convicted of murder, but the boy's remains were never found. The question many asking now, what is the fate of Summer Wells? It's been 36 long days since the 5-year-old was reported missing from her home in Hawkins County, Tennessee.
The longer you go, it is less likely that you're going to have a successful recovery. About 1% of children survive longer than 24 hours. And so we're hoping that Summer Wells is going to be that 1%er. She's going to be a 1%er.
Margie Quinn headed up the state's Amber Alert program for 11 years before leaving the TBI, and she is an expert in human trafficking. She's not involved in the Wells investigation, but she's followed it and knows abduction is a strong possibility, but not likely for human trafficking.
That's always the public's first thought is they've been abducted and trafficked. People who are going to traffic young people are not going to abduct them. It brings too much attention. The
Summer Wells case has been highly publicized. If she were to suddenly show up on an internet site, people would know. She's not there. So what are the TBI and FBI currently doing?
I think in any case like that, especially where they've had, 800-900 different leads, and you've got to look at every possible angle.
Jeremy Lofquest is a TBI special agent in charge working abductions and human trafficking. Sources have told News Channel 5 it now appears unlikely Wells just wandered off, or bloodhounds certainly would have found something. So the focus shifts more to foul play. Agent Lofquest is not directly involved with the Wells case, but says it is being handled like other similar missing child cases.
You look at all the relationships, you look at all the circumstances there at the beginning, or what you think's the beginning, and follow the timeline.
That includes questioning parents, siblings, relatives, everyone close to the child, or those who live nearby.
neighbors are going to be interviewed. Sex offenders in the area are going to be interviewed. Anybody with a likelihood to have committed this kind of crime.
It's all been done, and still, after more than a month of searching, questioning, and hundreds of tips to the TBI hotline, nothing. No suspects, no trace of Summer Wells. No one is giving up, but the simple fact is this: without any new credible leads or a person who knows someone coming forward, Summer Wells, like Joe Clyde Daniels, another 5-year-old who vanished, may never be found.
Share information about what happened to their daughter. Media requests to investigators about the case from Beech Creek have also piled in.
The media, not only in Upper East Tennessee, but Middle Tennessee and Fox News and everybody else, contact me in my office with information about this.
Have you ever encountered anything like this in your career?
Talking about missing child to this magnitude, no. I've been through a lot in the last 44 years, seen a lot, investigated a lot, but
This is one of the top ones. Nothing pointing to abduction, nothing pointing to foul play truck. That a lot of officers here are familiar with this gentleman, and we believe that he actually saw it. Nothing pointing to abduction, nothing pointing to foul play, other than her walking outside the house and not being found. Is basically the main thing right now. What actually happened to her, we're still trying to find out.
Is it possible that something happened to Summer that Candace knows about that's not her fault, but she is just nervous now and feeling bad about it?
Well, no, because she knows better. She would know to go directly to law enforcement. An accident's one thing. I mean, she would never do something like that. She knows better than that. I know it happens. It does happen with people, but no. She would go directly to law enforcement. She'd call an ambulance right away, number one, do anything. She would freak out. I mean,
could she have gotten herself into a situation where it wasn't her fault, but
no.
You know what I mean?
No. She's a good mother. She loves her children. She's not going to allow any situation like that. The biggest mistake she might have made is maybe choosing some wrong friends, which is, it happens.
It was interesting there. He said she made some wrong friends. We talked a lot more about that. It was a long conversation. We're going to have it all for you coming up tomorrow night. Marnie?
I look forward to that, choosing some wrong friends. Brian, before I let you go, police say this is still a priority, one of the biggest cases that they have covered. They're still trying to find out what happened to Summer. What's your plan to talk to police?
Yeah, we also plan to talk to the sheriff tomorrow. We know that while
Okay, so this was last night. So as you know, that he did talk to him today, and I have that his special is obviously starting, but I'll just show you what he did, a little interview with News Nation, and I'll show you that. Oops, I should probably share the screen. This was like an hour ago.
The search for a missing 5-year-old girl from Hawkins County is gaining national attention once again following her parents' appearance on Dr. Phil last week.
Summer Wells was reported missing by her family at their Beach Creek community home back on June 15th. News Nation Now's lead correspondent's in our area tonight, and he's focusing specifically on the Summer Wells case.
News Channel 11's Ansley Daniels spoke with Brian Entin today. She joins us now live. Ansley?
Josh and Sarah, it's been 5 months to the day since that Amber Alert went active for Summer Wells out of Hawkins County. Tonight, as people pray for her to be found here in Kingsport, News Nation's national correspondent Brian Entin is in our area giving her story the national spotlight once again.
it's interesting to be coming into a case 5 months in and hear investigators say that we're basically at the same place that we started.
News Nation is giving missing Hawkins County 5-year-old Summer Wells' story a national spotlight yet again.
We obviously wanted to talk to Candace, and he said that she was just too emotional at this point. It seems like Don is really concerned about the public's perception of Candace coming off of the Dr. Phil interview.
This time on the ground in the Beach Creek community in the first on-camera interview with Don Wells after that Dr. Phil appearance.
But then he did say something interesting about her friend. But I tried to drill in on that a little bit. Well, what do you mean? What friends are you talking about? What kind of friends did Candace have? What do you mean? And he sort of shut it down pretty quickly.
Entin also sat down with Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson.
I asked him, do you believe that Don and Candace are involved? And he said, we're not ruling anyone out at this point.
He comes here after being on the ground covering the Gabby Petito case.
I'm seeing a fascination with the case. I think people are digging for clues on their own, behind their computer screens at home. But the most interesting and different thing with this case that I don't think I've ever seen before is the way the family has been interacting with these social media sleuths and YouTubers.
Like all involved, Entin says getting Summer's story and face out there is the most important headline.
But I think at the end of the day, people just need to look at the picture, remember the picture of Summer, look at the video, look at her mannerisms, because she could be anywhere.
You can watch the rest of Brian's interview with Don Wells tonight at 9 on News Nation Prime, as well as that sit down with Ronnie Lawson coming up again tonight at 9 on News Nation Prime. But back here at the prayer circle, there's a group of a few folks getting ready to gather in prayer and broadcast this online to continue showcasing Summer's story for everyone outside of the community here in Hawkins County and in Kingsport. Josh?
Ainsley Daniel live in Kingsport. Thank you very much. And again, that Brian Entin interview with Summer's father.
Okay, so on News Nation Prime, I'm not sure if you guys have it, but I don't. It's airing right now, and then I think after it airs, it usually goes on to YouTube. So Brian's special is pretty much what's being shown here on Twitter. Everybody that is involved in this case is a person of interest. We have not ruled anyone out. I interviewed Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson about the latest on Summer Wells investigation. Our story on the missing 5-year-old tonight at 9 on News Nation. So just like Brian Entin said, not to be like a broken record, but it pretty much is exactly everything that happened on June 15th has either stayed the same or been contradicted or changed in a way. We saw from the very beginning of this video, it'd been reported by dispatch and 2 reporters on the news that night. 3 actually, the young lady that was like reporting it to the 2 people, that she was last seen around 7 p.m. Walking away from the house, and the mother was outside the house on a walk. I mean, just think about that aspect, and then think about what she told Dr. Phil, that she was just gone. And it's just like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And Chris McDonough kind of put the heat on her a little bit, and he was like, so she like walked in the basement and then she just vanished, and that's exactly what Candace has doubled down on so long. But it's just to the point where it's like, come on, this cannot be going on. This cannot be what happened. Like D. Irish had said earlier in chat, that interview, her first interview with the media, was sounding so scripted, and clearly took her that long to get that story drilled in her head to say on the news, that's what she's repeated over and over to Interview Room and Dr. Phil. But why is it so different from the very first night when everything happened? Doesn't make any sense. Amanda, I'm starting to believe she was walking to and from somewhere, maybe at the neighbor's house. Yeah. I think I talked about it on CDT's live the other day. And or maybe that's the thing, is our conversations run privately and together here on YouTube. I can't keep them straight, but we theorized that she did get home, but had gone somewhere, and Candace knew that she went somewhere, but then she had never returned, or something took place. But yeah, she did go somewhere. Like, I've kind of always thought in my head, and just like that interview with Ronnie Lawson was like a week, maybe week and a half ago by now, where he doubled down on last seen outside the home, so he's pretty much saying to Candace subtly, through the news, that's not where you said she was last seen, and now things have changed, in my opinion, I feel. Thank you, Nicole Morgan. Really appreciate it. But yeah, I just don't know, guys. I don't know what story to believe. I have to run, Amber. Have a good night. You too. Thank you so much for your support and everybody. I wanted to say I really appreciate everyone who's here. You guys always support me, and it's much appreciated. But I don't know. Just something is not making sense, obviously. But anybody else have anything? Yeah, they're still looking for the red truck midnight. So, Brian, I don't know what this is.
Hey everybody, just wanted to check in here real quick and say hi. We're getting ready for our story tonight, our full Summer Wells investigation, which will be on at 9 o'clock Eastern on News Nation. I haven't done a live in a while. We've just been so busy, especially the last like 3 days. We've just been shooting nonstop here in Tennessee. So we've been going from one place to another. I'm going to switch this. We're at the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office now. We interviewed the sheriff today here about the Summer Wells case and talked to him for quite a while. And we're just going to do our live shot here from the sheriff's office tonight because there's not a lot of cell phone service out near the Wells house. There's basically no cell phone service for our live equipment. So we needed to come somewhere where we had some more. Yeah, it's been a really interesting couple of days. Sorry, I'm reading some of your comments at the same time. Yeah, thanks for keeping an eye on me. Thanks for everybody who sent me crazy stuff that's popped up. We're keeping an eye on it, so thank you. It's been a long couple of days. Took a while for us to finally get Don Wells to talk with us, but he did. And there was a little bit of that interview that we used yesterday. But you'll see sort of most of it tonight, most of the stuff that was new and interesting in our story that airs tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. We were hoping to talk to Candace, and she was in the house, but he said that she's just too emotional coming off of the Dr. Phil interview. So that did not happen. And it was interesting. He agreed on camera to take us on the property and show us around, but then some other stuff happened, and you'll see all that in the story tonight. But it was kind of interesting the way it all unfolded. So for the people asking me who is Summer, I know a lot of you don't know much about the case. I'll just kind of give you the quick backstory, so you know if you're going to watch it tonight, kind of why we're here. Summer Wells went missing 5 months ago yesterday. It was the 5-month anniversary here in Hawkins County, Tennessee. Really, really strange case. Basically, according to her family, she was in the house. She had been outside in sort of a garden area. She was in the house in this very, very rural area, part of Tennessee here in Hawkins County. It was her mom who was home, Candace, her brothers, her brothers who were also young, and the grandmother was also on the property. And according to the family, this little girl basically just vanished out of thin air. No one seems to know what happened to her. They live again in a rural area. It was interesting to see with my own eyes. It's very, very steep, the terrain. They live sort of up on top of a big hill. And no one seems to know what happened to Summer. So it's very, very strange. Yeah, YouTube TV does have News Nation. Thank you guys for checking it out. I have not seen the grandma. She is apparently also there at the house.
What footprints, CDT? She said, were the footprints ever confirmed or commented on by law enforcement? I'm lost. Enlighten me.
But you'll see kind of how all that went down tonight in the story in terms of us trying to see more stuff. A lot of you have been asking me for Gabby Petito investigation updates. Still nothing. I still check on it every day. I've got sort of some different beat calls that I make to see if there's any updates. Still nothing new from the FBI. So nothing new to report in that department. I'm hoping to have something for you guys soon. So I am told, some of you asking about Hunter and his mother, and if you've been following this, forgive me for those of you who haven't been following the Summer Wells case closely, you might be confused what we're talking about. But Hunter has apparently, at least according to the people I've talked to here, is no longer in town right now. I did go to his mom's house tonight and talk to her tonight for a bit.
Amanda said child footprints. Fresh prints. Bare footprints, her size, 2 different next door properties. I'm behind in all this. Why is Hunter not in town, Max 2002? I'm not sure. I've heard the rumor, and of course this is rumor, so don't take it as 100%, that he was in some juvenile detention center perhaps, or I'm not sure if that's true. I just want to throw that out there. Not sure. But I did find it interesting that he said that H wasn't in town. I believe I read they were digitally cast footprints. D. Irish said at the neighbors. CDT and myself would like to know, does anybody know, was the prints confirmed by law enforcement? I haven't seen it anywhere. Amanda, they were casted by law enforcement. Oh, I took forensics actually, and we did a plaster cast of footprints. It was actually really interesting. Not sure if they were confirmed anywhere, but I also wasn't looking. They were on the missing. They were on the missing poster? Which one? I have like a million of them. That's crazy. Okay. That's why I wonder, CDT, if that's why they keep saying barefoot. She was barefoot. Because they're saying that they found prints. Yes, Delana. Maybe he went to visit his father. Maybe H went to visit his father. Yes, exactly. I saw on social media they were casted and they asked the woman her feet size, her kid's feet size, but nothing from law enforcement. That's why I'm wondering if they keep saying she was barefoot or possibly barefoot. But they haven't confirmed. I don't know. That's interesting. We need a more recent, especially with this stuff on News Nation and their local. They have done interviews, and even in his interview that I did in my video, the sheriff talks about how the media is slamming them. I think it would be best possibly to do another press conference. Because he keeps talking about also social media rumors. Then please come out and make a statement. I don't think people mention it because law enforcement hasn't made a comment on it. Yeah, and that's what's so annoying too about this case is as the days go on, more suspicious stuff arises. as far as rumors and what people's obligations are and hidden, reason to do what they're doing, which reminds me, I was going to play a small part of Don on that YouTube channel that he was freaking out about. So you know how he did that interview with Brian Entin, and he said that Candace had met bad friends or whatever. Well, there was a video of a real live stream going on where Don called in and he was really pissed. And it was last night after he was like talking to Brian Entin. And I was just going to play this one part because like it's very explicit and very just terrible to listen to. I wouldn't, I don't want to play too much of it, but I guess I could just summarize it a little bit. The one part I was going to play for you. He gets very, very mad, and Candace is screaming in the background about the fact that people are speculating that it wasn't an abduction done by somebody that they didn't know. And he was like so mad, and pretty much just saying like, why couldn't it be somebody random? And the YouTuber who also, I guess, talks to him behind the scenes was just basically like, well, we were just theorizing and, we just don't think it's like nicely saying like, it's just, something out there. But I'm not fully sold or clear on the footprints yet until I hear it from law enforcement. Yeah. They need to give us a statement. The neighbor who has young kids is the one who made the post. He says they weren't his kids' prints. And the other neighbor was Jody Sue, and her kids are older than Summer. Yes, Karen, it was Ziggy. That's the YouTube. If you guys want to go play it. I don't even know if it's still up. But there was just this little clip I was going to play, and I mean, I can play it if you guys want. It's just I don't know when he gets like irate and it says something and other things that I just don't want like here. Hold on, let me play it to myself real quick. No, I don't even have to. You guys can go check it out. All it is going to be Don screaming about why, it wouldn't be unheard of that it was a random abduction. But I just don't think it was random. She did edit it. That's good. Yeah, and there was another word that he calls the female, and I was not trying to have that play on here either. But yeah, Amanda, I knew what you meant.
Yeah, I do try to stay open-minded. Thanks for noticing that. Yeah, I just try to be respectful to everyone I interview and stay open-minded. And, I just want people to tell me the truth and what their stories are. So I find that just being respectful and open-minded, and that seems to work the best way for me. So. Yes, Jennifer Coffendoffer will be on tonight on the show with us on News Nation. She's also been really, really into the Summer Wells case. She knows way more than me even. I called her a couple times today, just like running some things by her because she knows like every little detail. And she'll be on tonight discussing everything. So and then we may do like an after the show chat also if we can arrange that. I'll also be on Banfield tonight talking about the Summer Wells case. I'm really hoping. I mean, again, for those of you that follow the case, you know a lot about it. You know what Summer looks like. I've known because thanks to everybody and all you guys on Twitter sending me, and I didn't even know about it until everybody started tweeting me about it.
Didn't the dog alert to Summer's scent where, Amanda? I mean, I thought it like ended at the end of that dog trail. Oh. All right, fiance home, guys. The rest of this is just Brian talking about the live that he's doing right now. So if you want to finish this, you can go to his Twitter and finish it. I'm pretty much done with everything I had to say right now. So thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe. And this conversation is going to be continued as soon as possible. If there's any updates, CDT said, I think it is possible she walked away, but I don't think she went on her own. And I think Don and Candace know more. I pretty much, that sums up my feelings too. Same. All right. Well, if there's any updates, of course, I'll bring them to you, as well as other cases. If I see anything, you'll know if you like and subscribe. But I do want to finish. I started a live stream a while ago, Hunter's interview, and we started it and I didn't finish it. So I want to finish it, go back over it. So thank you for being here, everyone, and we will talk soon.